Hi, I'm Bob Garrett. Hackensack University Health Network believes that all citizens need to be informed about the important health issues that affect their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the CAUCUS Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Hackensack University Health Network, Delta Dental of New Jersey, Everyone Deserves a Healthy Smile, the Northward Center, Josh S. Weston, the Russell Berry Foundation, Investors Bank, and by NJM, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and more, with a focus on safety and stability. Promotional support provided by New Jersey Monthly, the magazine of the Garden State, available at newsstands, and by POLITICKERNJ.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this.
You
got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Steve Adubato here at the Tisch WNET studio. We are honored.
No.
Oh, yeah, no, come on.
That's like
Let's look at this
awesome,
guy.
which has lost its meaning.
I don't say awesome.
Kids say awesome.
I
We're gonna
don't
have
say
pizza
it.
next week. That's awesome.
How about if I said the iconic?
Oh, worse.
Jeffrey Lyons, movie critic, Lyons Den radio, author of a fascinating book called What a Time It Was, Lenard Lyons and the Golden Age of New York Nightlife. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. I'm very proud of this book. It's not my achievement. It's my father's writing. It's volume 2. The first one just had no room for the people in this book. It would have been a coffee table book, and nobody would read it. So I wrote 2 books out of it.
Tell folks, last time we got a chance to talk was on the radio. I was hosting on AM 970 radio,
right.
and it was a great conversation with you. I said, look, we got to have a television conversation for the public television audience that you know and love, because I know you love public television.
Right.
Tell folks who your dad was and why he was such an important figure.
My father was a Broadway columnist. He was not a gossip columnist. He didn't write with his eye on the keyhole. From 1934 to 1974, 6 days a week, he wrote for the New York Post, which was a very different paper back then, and he was published all over the world. And while he did have news items, he had anecdotes about people. He said, never used the word celebrity. He said, I'll write about my sister Rosie in Brooklyn if she's newsworthy. And once in a while, my Tante Rosie was newsworthy. Twice a day, he made rounds of restaurants and nightclubs. If he saw another columnist, he would leave. He wanted exclusive stories. And so, Lenny, come here and sit down. And Marlene Dietrich would tell him she's in a new movie. That's a news item. But I'm looking for the anecdotes of things that happened to her. One night, she was in Sardi's late at night with my father. And the next day, somebody told my mother, hey, your husband was in Sardi's with Lindy's. With Marlene Dietrich, my mother said, Lindy's well known for its cheesecake. And he would write his column at 6 o'clock, as did his competitors and contemporaries. Ed Sullivan, Louis Sobel, Hy Gardner, Susie, Charlie Knickerbocker. New York had so many papers back then.
Sure.
They were finished. Their column, he came home. We lived at 81st and Central Park West. Sometimes he'd pitch a couple of quick innings to his sons right across the street when that transverse was just 2 lanes, not 4 lanes. So there's a patch of ground there, and the tree was our third baseman. Then he'd go out again at night, and he'd go to the night places, El Morocco, 21, Toots Shore, all the nightclubs, and then he'd come home at 1 o'clock and update the column that he had written at 6. No faxes, no word process. So for an hour or 2, he's like this, dictating. Then he'd go to bed and get up at noon again and do it again. And Sunday nights, a Western Union messenger would come to the house. And for a year, to take the column back to the paper, for a year, it was a young 16-year-old boy named Edward Albee, which is why...
Albee.
Which is why, at the end of his masterpiece, the quarreling couple, Taylor and Burton in the movie version, find out about the death of their imaginary child via Western Union messenger.
Oh,
and I met him once at a function, and I said, is that true? Did you come to her? Yes, and your mother never tipped me. That's how I knew it was true.
Unbelievable. I'm going to give you a name in the book.
Okay.
And you're going to tell me about who your dad. Joe DiMaggio.
That's from the first book.
Yeah.
One night, my parents gave a party for Ethel Barrymore, and I woke up, and I was 5, and I saw all the guests, and the only one I recognized or cared anything about was Joseph Paul DiMaggio, even though I'm a Red Sox fan.
Right. And
I walked up to him, I said, Mr. DiMaggio, you're the best guest here. 35 years later at an old-timers game, he must have seen me on TV, he called me over, can you imagine? He said, would you still say that? And I said, of course, Joe. In the interim, I got a list of my parents' guests that night. The people I saw cavalierly whizzed by: Ernest Hemingway, Adlai Stevenson, Marlene Dietrich, Edward G. Robinson, Comden and Green, none of whom could hit a curveball.
none of them. Hey,
He never forgot it.
By the way, we should tell people you love, because I'm looking here, because one of them, Yogi Berra, we just had Yogi's granddaughter in here yesterday.
Oh, I know. I met her in the
Lindsay,
park.
she's terrific.
Yeah,
We were just talking
beautiful girl,
about Yogi and what a special guy Yogi was, and why we'll never forget him. Yogi in here.
Oh, yeah. Yogi, by the way, gave his wife Carmen a Christmas gift once, and the card read...
Married 65 years.
Right. To Carmen, love Yogi Berra. But anyway, my father was making his rounds one night and stopped at the Copa. This is May 1957.
Oh, not the Copa, not that night.
You know about the fight.
Not that night of the
My father broke
fight.
that story. And
Tell everyone.
He said, well, the Yankees were there.
Is this the Billy Martin, Mickey Mantle?
The Yankees were there to see Sammy Davis Jr. with the first African-American Yankee, number 32 in your program,
Elston Howard.
And some drunk bowler from the Bronx started throwing racial epithets at the two African-Americans. Made the mistake of tangling with Hank Bauer, a Guadalcanal veteran, right fielder for the Yankees, about whom it was said he had a face like a clenched fist, wore the buzz haircut, once a Marine, always a Marine. And as the guy was being carried out, my father came in and encountered Yogi. They were about the same height. Yogi said, hey, you got to keep my father out. He said, hey, Lenny, you've been to Russia, I hear. Nice town? And my father said, I see what's happening. You give me the exclusive story before my competitors come, and I'll take you and the Yankees out from the secret passageway from when this place was a speakeasy. And he did. And the next day, his column began. There are now 3 famous battlefields in American history: Gettysburg, Iwo Jima, and the Copacabana. And it became the most infamous off-the-field baseball fight, and Billy Martin was traded 2 weeks later.
I was just saying, Billy
Bad
Martin,
influence on Mickey Mantle.
That's right. They want to get him away from Mickey Mantle.
When I met Mickey Mantle one time, when I was working at Channel 11, I mentioned my dad, and his eyes looked up, and he said, your dad was the only journalist who never reported he saw me drunk at Toots Shor's restaurant. I'll never forget him for that. And I said, Mickey, I want to imprint this moment in my life, tell my children. And 2 weeks later, I saw him again. He had no memory of meeting me. That's what it can do to you, you know.
Why do you love baseball?
Well, it's a game with no timeouts. It's an escape from the outer world. You can be tall, short, fat, slow, and still be a Hall of Famer. It helps to be built 6'4" and 220, but, you know, a famous player named Fatty Fothergill played back in the day. Smokey Burgess, who was a fat guy and rolled out of bed and was a 300 hitter. It's a game for everybody, and it's played every day, 18 days in a row. In football, which I love, my dad arranged for me to train with the Giants. I was a field goal kicker. And that's once a week in freezing weather. Basketball is great, but it was invented to keep baseball players in shape. Baseball there's a line in a movie. It says, baseball is life. And my brother and I wrote 3 baseball trivia books, which we would hope would interest our wives. We failed in that, but we had questions like the heaviest man to steal home plate, the oldest player to get a base hit, the only Hall of Famer buried at sea, the first player traded for himself. And our next book is going to have this question: who am I? I played for the Yankees. Who am I? I played for the Yankees. I wore a single-digit number, which is now retired. I'm a famous Hall of Famer. I'm a New York baseball name. I'm married, a blonde movie star, and I am not Joe DiMaggio. That's a great question.
Single digit.
Single digit. Don't go by the numbers. It's a distracting clue. The answer is, if I may, Leo DeRocher. He was the first to wear number 7. It wasn't retired for anything he did with his bat. And he married Lorraine Day.
Oh, my God, I never would have gotten that. A couple other names. Oh, my God. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, or Eleanor Roosevelt.
My dad had a source in the Roosevelt White House and knew the president and knew almost every president once he was writing, from FDR all the way through. When I finished second, by the way, in my 5th grade class for the run for president, Adlai Stevenson, who had just lost, sent me a telegram saying, it's not so bad, you'll learn to live with it. It's framed.
That happened?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did lose. Hard to believe.
No. Adlai Stevenson sent you that?
Absolutely. We were his guest in Libertyville, Illinois, and he took me into his room and showed me his father, I think, was vice president, and I began to collect buttons. And anyway, one day, Eleanor Roosevelt, who eschewed Secret Service protection during the war, she'd walk around New York without, which is unthinkable today, sitting on the IRT, as they used to call it, the subway, and a sailor and his wife got on. And about 2 stops in, the sailor said, well, excuse me, anybody tell you you look just like Eleanor? And she said, well, I am. And for 10 stops, she started talking about the tripartite summit conference coming, the Marshall Plan, Tuskegee Airmen, the post-war economics. And when the sailor got off at 14th Street, he looked back and said, you know, lady, if anybody says you look like Eleanor Roosevelt, you do a terrific job.
She was...
As far as FDR is concerned, nobody knew in 1940 if he was going to run for a third term. And one night, it's a story my father printed, one night, the great Bundini, whatever his name was, the world's greatest pickpocket, was the White House entertainment. And he picked FDR's wristwatch off him 3 times. Finally, Roosevelt held up his watch and said, 3 times. I kind of like the sound of that. That's how they knew he was going to...
That's how they...
It's in the book.
Joan Rivers. Only because she's a New York icon.
Yes, Joan Rivers. Phi Beta Kappa, by the way.
No.
Joan Malinsky from Barnard. She used to say to apologize for the frizziness of her hair because she said Jackie Onassis and she used the same hairstylist. And when Jackie Onassis would walk in, her hairstylist would drop what he was doing to her hair and say, do the best of it, make the best of it, and would walk over and take care.
Only because I'm fascinated by the history of organized crime. I got to do this.
Lucky Luciano.
How'd you know? Charlie...
Sure. My father went to Naples with my older brother. And he didn't go to see Luciano. Again, he knew newsworthy people. Phone call.
That's where he was from.
He gets a phone call. Well, he was deported there. Didn't speak Italian.
That's right.
Left there as a child. And the phone rings. Lenny, Charlie Lucky, take any cab and say Casa Luciano. My father got in the 5th cab.
Casa Luciano.
Got in the 5th cab to make sure it wasn't a plant. Sure enough, took him to Luciano's. And I have a photograph of them meeting. And it's taken from a distance. And it's kind of a wavy line. And I showed it to Christian Slater, who played him in a movie. And now in Boardwalk Empire, I told the story to Vincent Piazza, who played Luciano. And I realized it was such a foggy photograph because it was a surveillance photograph. And my brother, not knowing what a terrible man Luciano was, said to him, do you have a St. Louis Cardinals score? Because my brother was a Cardinal fan. This is 1953. There's no internet and no smartphones. And Luciano says, nah, I play the horses. By the time they got back to the hotel, he had the score. Now, when he was in prison, the Archdiocese of New York, I think it must have been, sent the prison a lot of money to pay for renovations. Luciano heard about this, and he went to the prison chaplain and said, I'll tell you what you do. You bet on 3 horses I pick tomorrow. They're all long shots, and you'll make much more money for this place. Well, of course, the priest ignored him. All 3 horses came in winners, of course. Otherwise, there's no story. My father printed it's history. It was a required reading at NYU for a professor. And Carl Sandburg, America's greatest Lincoln scholar, said if my father had been writing his column during Lincoln's time, we'd really have a record of what went on in New York. Speaking of Carl Sandburg, my father walked into to the Stork Club. Sherman Billings...
The Stork Club?
Yes, not known to be a voracious reader. My father walked in making his rounds with Carl Sandburg, the greatest Lincoln scholar of them all. And Billings said, what does this guy do? My father said, well, he writes great books. And he said, tell him to mention the Stork Club in one of his books. Another night, my father was in Toots Shor's restaurant, and he had an elderly Englishman on his arm. And the moment he heard the English accent, Toots, who knew only about sports, tuned out. Just then, he said, how you doing, bub? Just then, Mel Ott walked in, Hall of Famer.
The great Mel Ott.
Right. Toots Shor turned to the Englishman, excuse me, bub, somebody important walked in, and left my father with his friend, Sir Alexander Fleming, the discoverer of penicillin, because somebody important walked in.
Mel Ott. Do you ever ask yourself how many stories you have?
Well, my dad wrote about 100,000 people, 100,000 different names. It was 12,478 columns. And this is the second book. The first one's called Stories My Father Told Me.
And this one is called What a Time It Was. And the years again?
1934 to 1974. One last quick story. The day after Pearl Harbor, Georgie Jessel, 53, was married to a 16-year-old actress, Lois Andrews. He said to her, I have neckties older than you. She said, Georgie, the Japanese have invaded Manila. My father's there. Do something. He said, at my age, all I can do is cancel our tickets to Madame Butterfly.
Jeffrey Lyons. He is iconic, and these books are powerful. What a time it was. It's been a great time having you here.
Thanks for having me. You'll enjoy the book, too. Thank you.
Good stuff. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
Now sit, Sylvia, sit.
I'm not ready to sit.
I said sit.
I'm too nervous to sit.
Down, Sylvia.
I'm worried about where I sleep. Do I sleep on this couch?
couch.
No, down, Sylvia. No, Sylvia. You're down now. You sit. Sit here. Sit down. Sit, Sylvia. Sit.
Ouch.
Well, then sit.
I'm sitting.
Good girl. Good girl. Now stay.
I'm staying.
Oh, good girl. Very good girl.
You don't have to hit, you know.
Well, it didn't hurt.
It most certainly did.
Well, then I'm sorry.
You ought to be.
I just want you to be on your best behavior. Kate gets home any minute.
Who's Kate?
My wife, okay?
Okay, but you don't have to hit.
Well, then I won't, ever again. I promise.
Okay.
What were you thinking? By the way, we're looking at Annaleigh Ashford, Tony Award-winning actress, and that was from Sylvia. You're a very lovable dog, and this is playing where?
At the Court Theater on 48th Street between 6th and 7th.
Who's that guy you were playing with?
Just, you know, an actor named Matthew Broderick.
He's pretty terrific. What were you thinking when you were looking at that?
Oh my gosh. You know, I was trying to remember the night that was from. I have no idea. I couldn't place it. But I think it was kind of in the beginning of our run. And it's so strange to watch what I see kind of in my head visually. I visualize myself as a dog every night. So it's kind of crazy to watch it.
What's the premise of it?
Sylvia is a wonderful play written by A.R. Gurney about a man who finds this dog without an owner in the park, and in a lot of ways she finds him. And when he brings her home, he wants to keep her, and his wife, they're newly empty nesters, and his wife, played by the brilliant Julie White, is like, no, we don't need another dog. So the rest of the play is kind of about that struggle, keeping their marriage together, the love triangle between the three of them, and it's also a great love letter to New York City.
The love triangle between the three of them?
Yeah. I'm kind of the other woman. I'm
really?
A little bit. We fall in love. Me and my sweet Greg, my dog owner, we have a great love. And she's kind of jealous of it.
The wife?
The wife, yeah.
What a great premise.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's such a beautiful play, and chock full of laughs. Well, we hope. That's what we're going for here. Yeah. But yeah, it's a delightful comedy.
Didn't Sarah Jessica Parker play the original?
She was the original Sylvia, and actually Matthew and Sarah were falling in love when she was first doing the play, and so he has such fond memories of the show, and she based a lot of her Sylvia on his dog at the time, who was a border collie named Sally.
Right. By the way, did she come and see the play?
She did,
and
yes.
She says what?
She was wonderful. She was so kind and loving and sweet. And, you know, she left me such a beautiful blueprint for the role. So it was like kind of magic.
You grew up in Denver, Colorado.
I did.
And hold on, you have to tell people this. You said to me, at 3 years old, you knew you wanted to perform on a stage. And the way you can prove it is that there's video or film or a video. In my day, it was film. In your day, it's whatever video.
Yeah.
And what is the video of?
Okay, so we found this really weird home video footage of me as a little girl, and I do a series of things on a Christmas night. And the first thing I do is put on tights for like 15 minutes. It takes me 15 minutes to put on a pair of tights.
You're 3.
At 3.
Sure.
and then I do a ballet section.
Of course.
And then I tell them lots of stories about my imaginary friends. I play with the creche for a really long time. There's like a nativity scene, and I do like stories with it. And then I come up to the camera and I go, I'm not a crook. Like, I didn't go like this. I went, I'm not a crook.
And you're supposed to be Richard Nixon?
I was doing Nixon impressions when I was 3.
Why?
Who knows? Who knows?
Oh, wait, when were you exposed? You're too young to know Nixon.
I have a feeling I don't remember.
You love Nixon?
Well, I loved Nixon. I don't remember a time when I didn't love Nixon. I don't remember a time in my life where I didn't watch Saturday Night Live. So it must have come from a sketch.
Interesting.
Like it had to have. And I knew at a very young age that getting a laugh felt good, which sounds disgusting and very egotistical. But in another way, I knew that I think as a little person, bringing joy to people was important. And you can do that through storytelling and through laughter. And I think it's kind of been an intention for the rest of my life.
Did you start performing out in Denver?
I did. I grew up, I was a theater kid in Denver, Colorado. My very first show was at the theater on Broadway. I played Tina Denmark in Ruthless the Musical, which is a really fun, amazing off-Broadway show that was done a lot of places. But that was my first like professional gig, and then I worked professionally in Denver until I came to New York for college.
First time you performed in front of an audience in New York City?
First time was at Birdland at Jim Caruso's cast party. My best friend, Craig Jessup, also known as Breedlove, we sang a Steve and Edie song, and we thought we were so
Steve
cool.
and Edie Gourmet?
Yeah, we were like, and up and around the streets and up to the party, hey, hey. I mean, it didn't go well. It didn't go well at all.
What do you mean it didn't go well? The audience didn't respond?
We thought we were gonna be stars the next day. It was like, that was weird.
You got...
We got that was weird. That was weird.
Are you serious?
I mean...
What did you do?
Well, we also were really into the early 70s, so we looked like they thought we came out of some weird, variety show from 1971. It looked like we were doing performance art, so I think people were confused.
Yeah, performance art is confusing. Okay, so my producers are telling me to stop asking you this and ask you about all your success after that.
Okay.
Okay, so what do we got here? Where did she succeed? Because after Steve and Edie, things got really good. You can't take it with you?
You Can't Take It With You. We did last year. Mr. James Earl Jones I got to play his granddaughter. He was my grandpa, which was...
Wow.
He led one of the most brilliant companies of actors I've ever worked with. Oh, look at James. He's doing the Gin Game right now, which I'm actually going to see on Monday. I'm really excited about. But I played his terrible ballet dancer daughter. I mean, it was the worst ballet dancer that ever happened on Broadway.
But you're a dancer.
I am a dancer. I grew up dancing. I, as you know, have been dancing in my living room doing ballet since I was 3.
Yes.
But it was a challenge to dance badly every day. The last two shows that I've done, I have been extremely physical.
You have to dance badly.
I mean, I had to be really bad at dancing on point. So just never a pointed foot, fully pointed, just like half pointed. Just everything is slightly bad.
That is
You know when
wild.
you go see somebody do karaoke and they're like really bad, they think they're good.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so that's kind of the whole
Do you
thing.
ever see a talk show host who thinks he's really good? And what are you laughing at? You're laughing a little too hard.
Well, I'm thinking about, I guest hosted in my hometown in Denver on a show, and I was terrible.
Okay, I was talking about some people I know, but go ahead.
I was terrible.
No, you actually hosted a show?
Well, I wasn't
How do you know
terrible.
that you were terrible?
I actually wasn't terrible. I shouldn't say that. What I mean to say is I wasn't used to the earpiece.
You mean this?
It's magical. I want one in life. Like, I just wish that I had one.
Yeah, but you have no idea what it's like to be talking to someone while someone's talking to you, and then you have to stay focused.
Exactly. I need practice on that part. I think I would be an amazing guest co-host on The View if anybody wants to, invite me.
What did you turn to the camera and
Did
make
you
that
like that?
pitch?
I don't
That was
even know
great.
which one I was looking at.
It doesn't really matter.
Whatever. So anyways, I'd be really good at that. But I just need a little practice with the in-ear because they started telling me things and my in-ear was broken and I didn't know it because I'd never, done that. So I was like, why is there a lot of snow falling in my ear?
Your inner ear was broken?
The in-ear. Isn't that what it's called?
It's called the IFB.
Well, in the world of like singing for concerts, we call them in-ears. Like
In-ears. Terry, what is she talking about?
I know, it's crazy. Like Cyndi Lauper will be like, oh my God, my in-ear isn't right. Because it's called an in-ear.
Do you do impressions?
Really only Cyndi Lauper. That was the only one I'm good at. I also do James Earl Jones. Well, I do
you
James,
do Nixon.
but it's bad.
Okay, hold on. What else? Georgette, what else you want me to ask her? See, look how it works. See how Georgette, legally blonde.
Oh, Legally Blonde.
See, now you're going to say, wow, what an incredible question Steve just came up with. That was Georgette.
Legally Blonde was my Broadway debut, and it also actually connects back to Sylvia. I started the entire musical off by talking to a dog. Bill Berloni, the famous Broadway dog trainer, trained a magical little rescue pup named Chico to talk to me. So we had a conversation in which I spoke dog and translated to the rest of the sorority sisters. So I think that was maybe, some foreshadowing into my further Broadway endeavors.
You're so eclectic. The new CD you have.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Annaleigh Ashford, Lost in the Stars, live at 54 Below.
So crazy.
Wait, hold on. 54 Below.
Yeah.
That is the old...
Studio 54, which I talk about on my album. This album is actually a live album, which is kind of rare these days. It's hard to get a live album. Isn't that crazy?
How old were you when Studio 54 was Studio 54?
I was in utero. Well, I wasn't really even in utero yet. I was in the land of babies in heaven waiting to come down to earth.
Yeah, I was there.
You were?
Let's just leave it at that.
Oh, it's amazing. You know, I
was a child, but I was there.
Oh, it's incredible. This morning, actually, I was there, and Michael Musto was there talking about... Yes. Can you believe it?
He's got stories.
Oh, he's magical.
Michael.
I can't even believe it. So anyways, I said to him, I was like, just let me know because you would know. This room was the original VIP room for all of like the most famous people.
Don't even ask what went on.
He said, you're right. And I was like, okay, because I talk about it in my act. We do a 10-minute Donna Summer medley explaining the history of 54 Below, the goddess. And then we also do a really, you know, speaking of eclectic, it's a very eclectic mix of music, but it's a great homage to the classic cabaret. I always kind of say that we were trying to do, you know, what Bette Midler Live at Last was doing. So when you listen to it, it should feel like you're in the room with us.
You're very talented.
Oh, thanks.
And to Black, 45 seconds to Black? They just told me 45 seconds to Black. What would you do if they told you 45 seconds to Black? What would that mean to you? That's TV code for?
We're going to a break right now.
No.
No?
To Black means you're done. There's nothing left. You go into darkness, television darkness. That's it.
I should shadow you for a day before I go back to Colorado to
You could be an intern at PBS. Do you know that?
I would be so good.
Let me tell you something. I think after this wonderful play called...
Sylvia.
Which is going to have a great long run. You should come to public television, be an intern with us, and we'll teach you how to use this. What do you call it?
I call it an in-ear, but you call it an IFB.
Annaleigh, you're terrific. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yay.
You are fun, even as Nixon.
Thank you. I'm all What's that mean?
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Hackensack University Health Network, Delta Dental of New Jersey, the Northward Center, Josh S. Weston, the Russell Berry Foundation, Investors Bank, and by NJM. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
There is a place that pushes beyond traditional thinking to take medicine further than ever before, where science and creativity work together to give heart and cancer patients new possibilities, and researchers discover options for children who once had none. A place that proves every day that impossible is just an opinion. Hackensack University Medical Center, where medicine meets innovation.